Hello folks, I'm Espark from the Poly Champions League, here to review some highlights from the Oumaji Polysseum tournament. On turn 11, this is really key. So watch this giant. This is a lovely giant push here by Beige. So watch the giant. He gets a second giant in this city, pushes the giant, and then goes onto the road and then onto the mountain. Onto this mountain is a much stronger position, right? So let's see that again, right? So here we go. One giant. Here comes the second giant. The giant is going to get pushed towards the center of the map. There it is. And then Beige makes a road on this forest tile neutral road to move the giant onto the mountain. Excellent play there. Here, Yellow, that's Senor, he's captured this village. He can see there's a ruin, and he could move the rider onto the ruin, but he waits. He gets an explorer first because he doesn't know what's back here in the fog. There could be an opponent back there. So he waits until the explorer clears out that section. Then he moves the rider onto the ruin once he knows it's safe and that no one's going to take that ruin from him. On turn 9, here we see Viking the Cat has moved onto this village. He could upgrade it with a workshop or an explorer, but he doesn't. So he waits. And he doesn't upgrade this city until turn 11. And at that point, he gets sailing. So with sailing and a port, right, he gets that tech. Now he gets an explorer. And he waited until he got that water technology to get the explorer because he wanted vision on his opponent on the other side of the water. Without that tech, the explorer would have bounced back into his own territory and it would not have been as helpful. Green moves these riders up to attack the battleship. So having this battleship right on the shoreline allows these riders, which are cheaper units, so attacking with the cheaper units is a better damage trade to attack that battleship. Remember, all of this is in the fog, that shoreline. Green can use these ships in the fog to attack and not take any retaliation damage, which softens up that ship, and then Green can use the rider to kill it. The other thing that's smart over here, so Yellow sieges with the giant, but that city, you can see on Green's point of view, that city has 3 population, needs only 2 more to get their own giant there. But, so watch what Yellow does. Yellow sieges with the giant and then moves a ship onto this spot, preventing Green from building a port and getting those 2 population that they would need to pop a giant. In this, the key moment, one of the key moments, is when Yellow gets an explorer in this western city. The explorer has only one way to go because of the water, and it hugs the edge of the map and reveals this entire western quadrant. And Yellow sees that this orange rider is sneaking along, and so what Yellow does, which is really great, Yellow builds some neutral road to advance their rider and try to snatch this village before Orange. And the thing is, with Orange, they still have all this fog here. They cannot see that the Yellow rider is coming up, but Yellow can see. And what happens is Orange moves on to that village. Orange moves forward, and then Yellow swoops in and takes it. Turn 16, so we see that Alex in Orange has a really nice night chain here. Night chain in, sets up a hit, another hit, and then one more, and then look at this beautiful night chain, and then able to leave the knight there with a siege. The other nice move is Alex gets an explorer here. The explorer moves into Yellow's capital and all of those cities, and this sets up some very nice night chains later in the game because now Orange, Alex, can see this whole section and it allows them to move their knights in to set up some very nice night chains and win the game. This game only lasts until turn 6 when Magic in Yellow sieges. Yellow puts down a road, attacks with the 10 HP rider, and bounces and moves next to the mountain. Moving there is key because it blocks the 2 pink riders from reaching the city to unsiege. And after that, Pink resigns. So this game doesn't last long. You'll see BKN here is crucial. They get an explorer in this city, which very nicely clears out the fog and shows BK this capital city. So they have a lovely line into this empty city, and then what happens is later on turn 6, BK can still see this capital. They get roads, which allows them to hit the warrior, bounce into the capital, which was open, and siege, and there's no way that Senor can unsiege that city. This was a really interesting setup on turn 12. So yellow has this swordsman here and is getting ready to siege, take this village. Yellow moves the riders up, and then what's really interesting is yellow builds a road to put that veteran swordsman in a boat, and then the next turn, when yellow is getting ready to siege, yellow attacks with the rider, but then yellow knows they can't keep it, leaving that rider, so they move the rider out and put the veteran swordsman in that city. So what happens next is really interesting, because yellow's got to think, oh yeah, I got this city, I get to keep it. But then watch what happens. Green builds a monument, gets some population. Now watch carefully. This is going to be a fun magic trick. Green positions their riders with a bounce, gets more population, gets a giant, and poof! That is what we call a Houdini, folks. So this is an interesting point in the game. On turn 4, Alex in green can see yellow's borders. So Alex knows that the opponent is up here. Alex uses an explorer on that northern city to clear out the fog and get the lay of the land. This allows Alex to see there is an open, undefended city. So Alex bounces a rider into the city, which he couldn't have seen that without getting that explorer first. The explorer was instrumental. The way that Mariňák responds is good, interesting too. So let's see this next turn. So the way Mariňák unsieges is with roads. So they get roads. That allows this rider to reach the city under siege, attack, and then they use this other 4 hit point rider to kill the 2 hit point rider and then bounce back into safety. Alex continues to prevent yellow from taking that city. So each time yellow tries to get a unit onto that city, Alex attacks with the riders but then retreats to safety. Yellow is going to unsiege, but in a smart way, they build a road to attack from the north. This allows yellow to attack, escape, and bounce into this empty northern city. Then they get another rider to unsiege, move away to safety, build a warrior to keep that city safe. And there's no way that brown can unsiege. This is a fun play on turn 5 where yellow wants to get an explorer and he clears out the fog before getting the upgrade. And this makes sure that the explorer it'll go 1 tile east and then it'll head south. So very smart to clear out we call that priming the fog so that the explorer goes the way you want. The other thing that was a nice move from teal is here on turn 7. They get the roads, 1, 2, 3, upgrade, get the 5 stars back first, and then use those stars to invest and upgrade the city in the south. So that's really important. Get those 5 stars back and then use it. On turn 11, teal has this setup with some delicious whales right there. Whaling costs 16. They have the stars, but they have to expand the borders first. So they use a monument and a fish to expand borders, get the whaling tech, scoop up those yummy whales for a profit. And the other thing that's nice about this border expansion is it steals some of the terrain from this village up here. So yellow is poised to get that village, but by expanding borders, teal takes away that farm tile, the fish tile, and also prevents them from making roads, so limits the access that yellow has. Yellow decides to move the rider up and attack and weaken this rider in the city. So yellow has an 8 hit point rider there. Yellow could retreat, but instead they leave that rider there. And that is to be a noble sacrifice to prevent these two brown riders from coming in and taking that city, because if that yellow rider wasn't there, as you'll see, brown attacks, but can't do much more than merely kill that one rider. It keeps this city safe. Yellow has a whole bunch of giants in naval units here, but yellow is careful to move in and attack and siege this city. This city only has 2 shallow tiles where they could put a port, but it's not enough. It's very unlikely that brown could get a giant there. So yellow chooses to target this city and move a giant in because they're pretty sure that they can keep that city and brown cannot unsiege by popping their own giant.